Need computer training for a group or office? Contact us today to get a free demo of our training at www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.
In this lesson, we'll review practice questions 11 through 15. Let's begin with question 11. What did you like or dislike about your last job? This is another one of those questions that can be phrased in a number of ways. You might be asked what you liked about your last job, what you didn't like about your last job, or both. The key to answering this question well is to keep your answer positive. When talking about what you liked, name something relevant to the job for which you are applying. Instead of speaking negatively about the last job, talk about needs that weren't being fulfilled. So, a good answer to this question, if you were asked both elements of the question, might sound like this. I really like working in publishing, and I really like doing research, so those were two things about my last job that I really enjoyed. As for what I didn't like, I suppose I wanted to grow my career in a way that wouldn't be possible at my last job. Now let's look at practice question number 12. What are your salary requirements? The key to answering this question well is preparation. It's important to consider the question in advance and know exactly what you'll say. Before formulating your answer, research what the mean salary for the position is, both within the company and within your industry. However, it's a much better idea to answer the question without ever saying a number if you can. If you get into a back and forth where you absolutely must give a figure, use a range, and make sure that you know your bottom line in advance. A good answer to this question might sound like this. Acme Publishing has such a great reputation as an employer, I'm sure you'll pay a fair wage. My requirements would be negotiable depending on the benefits and requirements of the position. Can I ask what your budget allows for this position? Of course, the interviewer will probably not want to give you a figure at that point, but perhaps he or she will use a range that gives you a better idea of what the salary might look like. Now let's take a look at practice question number 13. What motivates you? The key to answering this question well is to talk about work-related things. It may sound a little bit corny, but this is the place in the interview where you want to talk about things like getting pleasure from a job well done, or being a leader, or being part of the team. So, an example of a good answer to this question might sound like this. I'm really motivated by a strong desire to learn more so that I can improve my skill set and grow my career. I also get a lot of motivation when I work as part of a team. I find that teammates inspire me to think more creatively. Now let's take a look at practice question number 14. Tell me about any issues you had with your previous boss. This is another behavioral question. The key to answering this question well is to give a behavioral answer and downplay any issues you ever had with your boss. It's also a good idea to take a brief moment to pause, as if for reflection, before answering this question. A good answer to this question might sound like this. You know, I never really had any issues with my boss. I worked as part of a team. Our job was to increase circulation. I researched new ways of doing that, and I helped to implement new procedures, and our circulation went up. My boss and I got along fine. Finally, let's take a look at practice question number 15. Do you have any questions for me? This is usually the last thing the interviewer will ask before wrapping up the interview. The key to answering this question well is to prepare your answer in advance. Don't ever say, "Nope, no questions." Your interviewer will expect you to have at least one question, but never ask about money or benefits. Ask about specifics of the position, or ask if there were any questions that you didn't answer completely, but always have questions prepared. So, a good answer to this question might sound like, yes, I have a couple of quick questions. If I got the position, when would the job begin, and what would I initially be working on? Again, the interviewer might not answer these questions, but asking questions about the position demonstrates that you are still highly enthusiastic about the job, even at the end of the interview.
Like what you see? Get a free demo of our training for groups of 5 or more at www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.